Welcome to my Magic Budget spreadsheet tutorial, because spreadsheet formulas can work magic. While anyone can benefit from budgeting and keeping track of their money, most college students are working with very limited income and need an easy and free way to make sure they're keeping within that income. To get started, scan the QR code or type in the bit.ly link to take you to the spreadsheet with the magic formulas. Feel free to pause or rewind as needed. First, you will want to save your own copy, so click on File and Make a Copy. Name it what you want, and don't worry about the warning, I don't use any scripts. And click Make a Copy at the bottom. Different sheets of the spreadsheet are called tabs and are all in a row at the bottom. Delete this README tab if you want, and notice that I put the tabs in alphabetical order. There are instructions in the notes as well. Click on the Expenses tab. To keep track of your expenses automatically, we'll need to enter information here like date, location, account, and budget category. And the information needs to match exactly for the magic to work. We do this through the magic of data validation. Head over to the Accounts tab, where we'll enter all our account names into column A. For each account, make sure you record the starting balance in column B. For account balances that show how much you have, like cash, debit cards, or Venmo, this amount will be positive. But if it's a credit card so that the balance amount shown is how much you owe, you must enter the starting balance as a negative amount. Now go to the Categories tab, and just like the Accounts tab, we'll enter the locations in column A to show where we're spending money. Then in column P, we'll enter our expense categories to show what we're spending the money on. These categories will also be the budget categories, so take a minute to think of what you want to track so you can decide how broad or narrow you want the categories to be. Should all necessities be one category, or do you want to track food separate from toiletries? This is your spreadsheet, so you can set it up however you want. And you'll always be able to come back here and add more categories. Finally, we'll add some income categories in column AE. This shows wherever you get money, whether from a job, your parents, or elsewhere. Now, keep these account and category names in mind, and let me show you some magic. Head over to the Expenses tab, which is where you'll record your expenses. Let's say you had a $5 meal today. Put in today's date and the amount. Now click this drop-down box in column E for the accounts. See how the options are the accounts you put in? That's the magic of data validation. It's set up so that the only options you can have in column E come from the accounts you put in the Accounts tab. It works the same for the other drop-down boxes, except those come from the Categories tab. Anytime you add any new account, location, budget category, or income to your list in the Accounts or Categories tab, it will magically pop up as an option in these boxes. One last thing to show you about the Expenses tab. Do you see these little check boxes in column B on the left? If it's unchecked, that means that you've made the transaction, but it hasn't gone through your bank or credit card yet. It's pending. The Income tab is very similar to the Expenses tab, and this is where you will add any money that comes in so you can balance your accounts. Going back to the Accounts tab, to make sure you're correctly tracking all your expenses and income, you will need to check to make sure the current total on the account matches what the spreadsheet says you have in column C. If it doesn't match, you'll have to figure out why. Going back to our $5 meal, if you just bought it, but your bank doesn't process the transaction for 2 to 3 days, that can make it hard to balance your accounts. So pending expenses are kept separate in column D. Available balance shows you what you have left once everything has cleared, so you won't overdraw your account. Now for the Budget tab. This is where you're going to set up how much you want to spend on each of your categories month by month. The budget categories in column A actually come from the Categories tab. Any new entries in the Categories tab will magically show up in the Budget tab. The budget amounts are all independent in case you need to budget for different expenses some months. For instance, paying for books at the beginning of the semester. If you have the same amount for every month, like a regular budget for food or housing, just copy and paste it all the way across. Columns B, C, and D will always show you the current month's budget, how much in each category you spent, and then how much you have left. If you go over budget so that you have a negative number in column D, it will turn red. And that's it. To quickly review, enter your information in the proper columns in the Expenses tab for any expenditures, or in the Income tab for any income you receive. And when a transaction goes through as complete on your bank account or credit card, mark the appropriate checkbox to change it from pending to completed. In the Accounts tab, you can add new spending accounts and check your current and available balances. When you set up any charge accounts with a starting balance, use a negative number. If you need to add to any of your categories, use the Categories tab. And finally, set up the budget amount for your categories in the Budget tab.